Honestly, if you underestimated how long I lived, then I'd be offended.
Well, I was just thinking of like where I've died in New Game Plus so far, because I died, I died a couple times in the Undead Parish just because I was getting careless with the Boulder Knights.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like I have not died. Like I'm in Orlando now, and I haven't died to like any of the bosses or anything like that. Oh, welcome back, everybody. We
So
are,
this is the last session we're gonna have with this series,
yeah, yeah. Ideally, yeah.
and by this point, David, you have completed the game, right?
Yes, I have finally beaten Dark Souls. Praise the sun. um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was like at the start of the last session, I figured we'd have more time to get through the rest of the videos. Um, Thankfully, we didn't, and we did not overtake where I was in my personal game. So I managed to continue playing in between last recording and this one, and I beat I beat Manus, Father of the Abyss, and then went through the kiln of the first flame because that was basically the only thing I had left to do. Uh, and I've seen the end of the game now, and I took the bad ending and linked the fire. Spoiler alert.
That's the bad ending.
I, I mean, it's the canon ending, right?
Uh,
Like
well,
technically
interesting about
speaking,
that
if you,
is, well, okay, if you don't link the fire, someone else could just run in and do it anyway,
yeah,
and it would just lead to the same ending as the other one. So there isn't. So both of them are technically canon. Anyway, we have this person here mourning the death
yeah,
of Artorias.
yep. You can you can give the soul to her,
Yes, but
which
no.
yeah seems a waste if you want to get like the weapon.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, if you give Artorias the souls to her, you can't use it to create another weapon. But if you do give it to her, she gives you her weapons.
Right.
But either way, you can just kill her and get her weapons anyway.
Yeah.
So
If you kill her, you get her weapons. So
yeah. But we did sort of skip over Artorias, like lore with him and stuff like that. Basically, he was the main dude who fought things like this. Basically, I wouldn't say he's in charge, but he basically did the most stuff against the Abyss, which is
yeah.
spreading. But we already know the Abyss is gone because the future exists. So
I mean, in as much as it exists, the Lordran is not in a very good state anyway. But it wasn't swallowed by the Abyss, at least. Yeah.
yeah. Well, this is quite low anyway. So yeah, the society here, unfortunately, build all their structures seemingly in a chasm. So naturally, we'll get swallowed up by the Abyss pretty quickly.
Now, one thing that's cool
And
to
that's what
know.
happened to these citizens.
One thing that's cool to know. It actually does reinforce the Oolacile being just ancient time Darkroot Garden. If you look up in this location, you can see Anor Londo towering above you,
Mm-hmm.
which is really cool. I like that.
Which since there's a giant wall in the way, you can't see it in its glory days,
Well,
which is probably
yeah.
where it's in right now.
Yeah. But you can see the massive wall, and like, oh, that's Anor Londo, and it's from the same like general angle as Darkroot Garden.
They look pretty much exactly the same, except like most of the things aren't illusions.
Yeah. There are a lot of so upon beating Dark Souls, it sends you right into New Game Plus.
Yeah, immediately after the credits.
Yeah. And so I decided to start playing through New Game Plus because, see ya. Because I really like this game, and it's a really good game. And are we gonna get that guy?
No.
No.
Fire isn't big enough.
Oops. There's a secret here as well, indicated by the message, which is...
You could either use Sunlight Maggot, Skull Lantern, or cast Light Sorcery.
Yeah. And there will be a few, like 1 or 2 more of those in this area, right?
There's 2 in total.
Yeah.
Although the second one is more hidden.
Are we going to use that silver pendant, or...?
Yes, that silver pendant is used for blocking dark sorceries like that.
Yeah. It came in very handy during the fight with Manos, for me,
yes.
At least, because I kept getting blindsided and murdered by one of his attacks.
How many times did you die to Manus?
To Manus, I died, I think, 3 times. And, like, all of them were to the same attack.
Alright.
It was one where he, like, charges up a Kamehameha wave.
Oh, it has like a shotgun blast.
Yeah. That one got me many times because I thought like I would be able to roll out of the way or just like straight up block it. No. Went through my stamina every time.
You can't block it.
Well, it went through my stamina every time, and then I was like,
yeah,
oh,
okay.
Yeah, oops.
Well, for dark sorceries, it's half magic, half physical, and since it's half physical, it does drain your stamina quite a lot when you're blocking. Anyway, I like these carvings. We don't know where they came from as of now, but we will eventually. And I do appreciate how they make a return in the second game. And
oh, do they?
Yes, there's a merchant you can buy them off of.
I'm
not sure where he got them from, but whatever.
Yeah, and we pick up dark sorceries here as well.
Yeah, this DLC introduces dark sorceries.
But yeah, I started playing New Game Plus, and when I got to Darkroot Garden, I was paying a little more attention to the landscape and
how it matches almost exactly as this DLC.
Yep, pretty much. Like there are multiple like I saw the similarities when I was going through Oolacile in the first place, but there are many locations that are basically direct parallels between the two, and that's really cool. I actually think, like, I kind of think that where you fight Sif might be the Colosseum that you fought Artorias in.
It's not. It's actually where the Sanctuary Guardian is.
I don't know. There are a lot of...
No, it's different.
There are a lot of similarities between both.
I mean, I know it does make sense how it would be the same location where you fight both of them, but no, it's a different place.
Because where you fight the Sanctuary Guardian seems like it's too far away in comparison to the locations in Darkroot Garden.
Well, if you just like, where you fought Sif is quite far away from everything as well.
Yeah, but it's not that far. There's
far.
There's the one little bridge, and that's kind of it.
Well,
I don't know.
Either way, well, how would Sif know where his master died? Oh, by the way, Arcturus and Sif know each other. They're friends. In case we haven't brought that up yet.
Yeah. That's
Sif wouldn't know how the fate of his friend because he isn't here right now.
Well, no, but Sierran put up the gravestone.
Yeah, that's because that's where he died. But
exactly.
That's not the same thing. What Sif is guarding.
I know. It just seems. I don't know.
I know. It makes sense, but it's not. That's not the case. But either way, I'm not really sure of like the enemies in this DLC. There seems to be the regular melee ones and then the sorcery variant, and that seems to make up like the majority of all the enemies in this DLC. But whatever.
In this area, yeah.
Although I guess it does make sense. because this was a this was a place where people lived, and this is what all the people lived turned into. So
Corrupted by the abyss. Oop.
yeah.
Oh,
these
oh god.
heads.
We're kind of
No,
we're kind of in a bad spot here.
I can't die once in this DLC.
We're kind of in a bad spot here.
I'll get out of it.
I feel like we're
Have I
gonna get
died in this DLC
blindsided
yet?
by the second sorcerer there.
No, my ninja flips is all I need.
I ended up dying in this particular area because of that sorcerer, actually. He was still up on the little ledge where he starts on, and I ended up pulling the 3, like, melee guys that were below him, and then, because I had to get out of the, like, range of fire of his Jetto Bolt, I ended up getting backed into a corner and just got, like, cleaved through by all 3 of the melee guys at once.
Well, actually, the melee guys are all male, and then the sorcery, they're all female for some reason.
Sure. Okay.
Well, you did correct me about genders in the Ori playthrough, so I might as well do the same.
No, I didn't notice. It's not telegraphed particularly well because they are kind of hideous monstrosities all together.
Yes. And I'm not sure if you know that they can actually drop their heads as a wearable item.
Oh, can they?
Yeah. And it actually says in the description for it, like, why would anyone wear this?
Yeah, fair
But
enough.
don't worry, it's dead. It's a bit like the
Sunlight
maggot.
Yeah.
Where I know all the sorcery sorcerer the headpiece that sorcerer wears that actually gives a pretty good magic defense. I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, you can actually get to this chest just by jumping on the right there.
I did that. And then
But-
I went into this room and was like, why is this just an empty room?
Yeah, I thought that too. No. So for some reason, there's a fire still going on here. I think they'd run out of firewood.
They got to keep it homey, you know. They started burning the chairs.
Seems to
A
have a
new
lot of it
key.
left. Well, you think creatures of the abyss, they wouldn't want any fire, right?
Well, that's why he was hiding around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what, we're just gonna get him to chase us out here?
Maybe. Well, before I forget, I need to get items.
Yep, cut down that guy. Oops.
Anyway, and also,
There you go.
how did you pronounce that person's name? That's Morning Artorias.
I said Sieran, I think. I don't remember if that's her actual name.
Well, it's Kieran.
Kieran?
Yeah.
Sure.
I know it's a female character, but she has a male name, which is weird.
But I was wondering if I had misremembered what the name actually was.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to tell because Siren sounds more female than Kieran, so I know
Well,
it
yeah,
makes sense.
It's I mean, makes sense.
And Kieran, Artorias, and Ornstein, and a fourth member, which you haven't
That we
met
have
yet,
not seen yet. Yeah.
are all members of an elite squad of cool badasses. Called
We
the
have,
Four Knights of Gwyn.
Yeah, we have all their rings.
Yes, we've actually obtained all the rings. Each member has given a special ring by Gwyn that enhances their speciality. For Ornstein, which you can only obtain if you killed him second in the boss fight, it increases the damage you do if you're being hit, but only for thrust weapons. It's weird. There's a thing called counter damage, where
Right.
the damage you do is increased while you're taking damage, or something like that. And like it only works if you like poise through their attacks. Obviously.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird. But either way, it doesn't only work for spears. It also works for like thrusting swords or anything that has thrust damage. And then there's the wolf ring. That was Artorius's one. It's just extra. It's just extra poise.
It is a lot of extra poise, though.
Yes, especially early in the game, when you don't really have a lot of heavy armor, so it's a lot more valuable then. And then there is Kieran's ring, which increases parry damage and backstab damage. I think it's both.
Well, it's phrased as like criticals, I guess.
Yeah. That's because she's an assassin. But the Four Knights of Gwyn, they're meant for taking out dragons, so I don't know how a tiny assassin will deal with dragons, but whatever.
By poison that works on dragons, right?
Well, I think the other three knights are a lot more useful then. And then the final one is the Hawk Ring, which is given to a person called Go or Goff or Gao or whatever you want to pronounce.
I believe in game it's pronounced Goff.
Yeah, that's what I thought it would be. Because it's like cough, but with a G. He is an archer, and the ring gives more range to arrows, meaning for a long distance. In case you don't know, arrows, their damage decreases because obviously in real life, their speed of arrows obviously decreases, so naturally their damage would decrease also. But the ring prevents that. Anyway, I don't know what this enemy was, some sort of mini boss, but you can get a very weird selection of armor from this guy. You can get chain armor and leather and stuff.
Yeah, I think I got like chainmail boots from him or something. And I was like, okay. Thanks for that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep, sneaky guy hiding on the
I predicted that.
On the pedestal as it comes up.
Cool guy.
What? Come at me. What?
Oh,
right.
He fell. And I was like, oh no, activated elevator guy?
Oh, no. Aw, what are you gonna do? Are we not going back to see what that key we picked up does yet?
Well, we need to get our shortcut first, because Bonfire...
Oh, we just want to teleport back here?
Yeah. There's 5 bonfires in this DLC, which I think is a little too generous. I think this one here could have done without, to be honest.
I don't know. It's
before the chained, well, but
pretty
before
long way.
the chained prisoner and before the sorcerers, there was a shortcut anyway. So.
Yeah, it's still kind of like getting from this bonfire to the boss is still a pretty long way, though. Depending on
also another shortcut.
Well, I mean, depending on how if you actually want to deal with the enemies, like it's still really obnoxious to get from that bonfire to the very end. I think the excessive bonfire is down to like there's the one right at the entrance and then the one right after you beat the sanctuary guardian.
Yeah, that's definitely one that we could have done without. Very Dark Souls 2-esque bonfire placements, to be honest.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that one where it's like there's a bonfire and then there's a shortcut right next to it that's leading to a bonfire nearby? Have you seen that one?
I have not.
Well, yeah, you have to like knock down like a tree trunk and form a bridge. And you have to do that like right after the second bonfire in the area.
Oh man, that's
fucking dumb.
That's silly.
So I think I think that's just another result of lack of direction from Miyazaki, to be honest.
Maybe.
But what he would do is supervise things like that, you know.
New enemies.
Yeah, and they look awfully a lot like humanities.
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
Because they are.
Oh.
But as an enemy type, anyway, there's a thing down there.
There's a thing down here. There's actually two things down here that I completely missed.
And it's Alvina.
Yeah.
What's she doing here?
So
yeah, Alvina is a very, very old cat.
Yeah. And we got some extra humanities down here as well. They do drop humanity, potentially, as well. They don't give, like, anything for souls. And they have one attack, which is to charge right through you. And they
they don't actually have an attack, but if you go too near them, then they damage you.
And they can deal a lot of hits in a very short amount of time, actually.
Yeah.
Which I've discovered rather quickly when I, like, pulled 6 of them at once. And, that'd be why I missed.
Yeah, this is where Alvina was taking you, and what's there?
I found the shortcut, but I did not realize that it was an illusory wall. I thought she just kind of led to the shortcut and then just disappeared. And so I was like,
So here we have a very young Sith.
Who is rather a bit smaller than in the future.
Yeah, not the great Grey Wolf Sith that we fought in modern times. Well, this is a very young version of it. So
but he disappears.
He disappears, and he has a cleansing great shield, which is very defensive against dark magic specifically.
Doesn't it have like relatively high elemental resistances across the board? But then it's kind of offset by the fact that it has like 80% physical block or something.
Yeah. And so Sif was hiding out here. Someone gave him a shield to protect him from the abyss.
I wonder who that could have been.
It's Artorias. He gave up his shield because in case you didn't know, Artorias was only using one hand while we were fighting him. Because his other hand was broken, and so we couldn't use his shield anyway, so we gave him to Sith.
Think of anything.
Anyway, finally talking to this guy, and he's actually realized that we killed Artorias.
Are we going to,
treacherous. Yes.
Are we not going to show off the fact that he invades you as a phantom?
No, because you don't get any rewards from killing him as a phantom anyway.
I don't know about that. You get to talk to him again, and he's all indignant about the fact that you killed him.
Alright, yeah, he gets pissed off, but that's about it. He doesn't give you any souls or humanity or anything.
He gives you a couple souls, just not very many.
Whatever, it doesn't really matter.
Does it really matter?
But yes, this character is one that appears to be.
I like this guy. He has very weird laughs.
Yeah, he appears to be a reference to Bloodborne, which should have been.
It's entirely possible because he was also dragged from the future, but definitely not the future that we're from. Probably a further point in time.
And he's oh god, what was I about to say? Oops.
He's definitely since this DLC was
around
the time Bloodborne was being thought up. They were like, let's just have this character here as like sort of a little taste on what the character's gonna be like in Bloodborne.
Like Bloodborne was very likely already in the early stages of development when this DLC was kind of being made.
Mm-hmm. And you had the key earlier to open this, and we have Goth. This is the 4th member of the Knights of Gwyn. Yes, he's not the same race as Gwyn or Artorias or Kieran or Ornstein. He's actually a giant, like the ones in Sen's Fortress.
Which surprised me at first. I was like, I was not expecting him to be a giant. Okay. Also, like the...
and he is also the one that made all the carvings that talk.
There's
you can buy more.
there's another character he's very similar to in Orlando, whom he makes reference to in dialogue as well.
The giant blacksmith.
Yeah.
Yeah, near the giant blacksmith is where you find his ring. So maybe there's some connections between the blacksmith and Goff.
Yeah, if you talk to Goff enough times, he says like, "I wonder how that old blacksmith is doing. Probably still hammering away or something like that."
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of a cute little dialogue addition.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we gonna kill these two guys?
Two guys? Who?
Kieran and Goff,
Why would I do that?
to get their equipment.
Not now.
I mean, if we're gonna be going into New Game Plus anyway, then there's
Yeah, yeah. Eventually, okay. So murdering NPCs or vendors or whatever. So
Yeah.
when that happens, of course, they will never come back unless you go into New Game Plus and start the game again. But also, when you kill a friendly NPC, they give you a sin level, and you don't want the low sin level, to be honest. And of course, the best time to kill all NPCs is when you're about to go into New Game Plus anyway. So, and when that
Yeah.
happens, it reverts your sin level reverts back to 0. So that's what you do.
Oops. Yeah, I didn't manage to get all of the NPCs because
No, neither did I. I just took out all the ones I remember.
Well, yeah, like a bunch of the ones who had been around Firelink Shrine ended up leaving and stuff as well. Like I ended up fighting the novice pyromancer guy down in Blighttown as a hollow or something.
Oh yeah, that can happen.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Like,
Well, did you listen to his dialogue?
yeah, I had talked to him, and he made reference to a pyromancer in the swamps, I guess.
Yeah, that's Quilana.
Yeah, and then it popped up with the yes or no dialogue option. I was like, okay, I'll choose yes, and he was like, oh, splendid, and then next time I went down to Blighttown, he was down there, and he was a hollow.
Yeah.
So, I ended up killing him down there. Rhea, like, I don't know what happened with Rhea actually.
Well,
Because-
we'll get to the fates of NPCs.
Well,
when-
we've
when-
already
when-
we've seen Rhea in this, like the follow up to her quest in this game. In my game,
well, after she's rescued, there's one more bit after.
yeah, in my game, something else happened. I guess. I
Yeah.
guess I didn't know because when I went back to the Undead Parish, she was not there.
She's not there at all.
There was something there, but
Okay.
she was not
Okay,
there.
I know what happens, but I won't really spoil that yet.
Are we going to see the conclusion to that in this playthrough as well?
No, but when we get to the point where we murder all the NPCs, then we'll talk about each individual ones.
All right. Help
More
me.
carvings.
Aw.
It makes sense because he's all the way down here.
Yeah. I mean, I would be asking for help as well down here at this point.
Too bad nobody can. In the abyss, no one can hear you. No one can hear your carvings.
No. Where are we going?
We're gonna heal. I don't know. And repair. I know that's what I've been doing. Oh yeah,
Oh.
I was about to be invaded, but somehow, I know for some reason, sometimes when you get invaded, of course the fog doors appear, so you can't escape. But
Yeah.
then eventually the fog door just disappears, and it never actually said you were invaded in the first place. So that can happen.
I got invaded there.
That's a very popular invasion spot.
Yeah, I gathered, and I was not impressed by the fact that I made myself go human, and then it was like right away, oh, you've been invaded, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna
Yeah, yeah. You can even like, while you're in a bonfire, get like kicked out of the bonfire, and then you can't
Yep.
rest at it again if because
Yep.
you're being invaded. That's one thing that Dark Souls 2 fix is that if you're in a bonfire, you're safe from invasions.
Oh well, that's helpful at least. Jeez, I would have liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like Anor Londo is the most annoying place because it's where I guess everybody is for invasions, and it's just like
Did you kill Guinevere?
no. Well, I'm
Okay.
I'm talking about New Game Plus now, but I got invaded a couple times in Anor Londo the first time through as well, and it was just like it's not even worth being human in Anor Londo because you just always get invaded, and
Well, it's a popular place to invade because there's going to be a lot of people human to summon Solaire.
yeah.
Same with Sans Fortress. Like, there's going to be a lot of people summoning Iron Tarkus.
The really annoying thing for me is that I don't have very great internet, so I tend to see a lot of lag, which means that the guy who invaded me last night in Anor Londo had Smo's hammer, and he just kept getting lag backstabs on me because I guess he just had better latency than I did, and there was nothing I could do about that because he would just backflip behind me with his ninja ring and then backstab me with Smo's hammer.
Welcome to PvP, bitch.
Yeah, that's another reason I don't care about competitive gaming.
Oh, something's happening.
I wonder what this is.
Oh, not this hand again.
Oh, bad touch.
And he gently lays you down on the ground. I say
How-
gently because I don't think you'll lose any health from that.
Yeah, how considerate of this horrifying, monstrous being.
This is also known as the Primordial Man. Makes sense because his name is Manus, Father of the Abyss.
He used to be a religious guy.
Maybe. So, and
Summoning
you
Phantom, what?
you can summon Sif here. if
Oh,
you rescue
really?
him. Yeah, because so originally Artorias was supposed to be here and kill Manus, but since he was corrupted by the Abyss,
Right.
Sif was supposed to help Artorias, but since we're
Huh.
taking his place, Sif helps us now.
Cute.
Yeah, and so this is okay. So about Manus, he may very well be the furtive pygmy, who was the holder of the dark soul that we saw in the opening cinematic,
Right.
and and so much like Gwyn, who has the light soul, who's trying to bring light everywhere. The holder of the dark soul is trying to bring dark everywhere.
The Abyss.
Yes.
In a way.
And so, what the abyss or dark does to someone is obviously like just have like very disjointed figure,
them-
much like
turns
the
them into
Four
monsters.
Kings. Yeah, much like the Four Kings, much like the Bloatheads earlier in this DLC. Things like that. And of course, the furtive pygmy is possibly turned into whatever this is. And also, this boss has very primate like
Yeah.
things to him. So like a
Yeah,
gorilla
yeah.
or a monkey. So if you just look at, I guess, its attacks really, it
And
has
just
lots
movement
of
patterns.
Yeah, it has lots of sweeping strikes and frenzied attacks like what he's doing now. Kinda like what a monkey does.
Yeah. So one thing to note about the fight itself is that, I would personally say there is a rather noticeable difficulty spike once he starts using his dark sorceries like this.
Yes. And I powered through that, thankfully.
Yeah, because early in the fight, when he's just doing physical attacks, like he hits fast, but his attacks don't deal a lot of damage. And,
Yeah. Okay. well, much like Artorias' fight, the further you go into the boss fight, the harder it gets.
Yeah.
And so when he's down to 50% health, he starts introducing his dark magic.
Yeah, and the dark sorceries, in contrast to his physical attacks, deal a load of damage and can do it in very, very quick succession. Which is what the silver pendant that we picked up is used for, because it'll block all of the little dark balls. Yeah, like that.
Basically, if you don't use silver pendant, and don't, because the attack comes in from
All directions.
From all directions, from the outer rim, and homes in on you. And so the only way to block all of it is to
and then, he's got that one.
let's use the pendant. Yeah, the shotgun blast he has. You shouldn't use a shield because
It just goes right through it.
It goes right through it, and it will drain your stamina very quickly, and the remaining ones will, of course, hit you when you're staggered.
Yeah, and it's very hard to roll out of the way of it, as we saw there as well, because of the tone.
The first time I managed to tank the hits for some reason. The second time I only got hit by 2 of them. But that's still that I even evaded that, and I still got hit. So it's very hard to avoid.
Those are basically what killed me. I think he got me once or twice with that combo he just did, but most of the deaths were to the dark sorcery.
Yeah, and the reason why, and with its left hand there is very gorilla-like, and this has a very primate-like to him, because guess what? That's where humans in real life evolved from.
Oh God!
And I managed to avoid all of that. Thank God.
That would have been very bad.
Yeah.
I wish his soul was used for more than just a sorcery catalyst, though.
There you can.
Well, you can redeem it for a sorcery as well, right?
Yes.
I meant more like a different weapon, but
a different weapon. Well,
I guess it makes
he's
sense.
a sorcery-based guy, so
yeah, like it makes sense within the context of the lore.
Yeah.
And we see there's a little woman.
Dusk is here.
Aww.
After being captured a second time, and she's just sleeping.
Yep. Nothing we can really do with her.
Yeah. And from killing the boss, we got tons of humanity. Yay!
Yay!